Greetings and welcome to my dear Pisces. This is Ron from Tarot of the Twin Sun. Welcome to the channel. I shall be channeling for the energy of Pisces. The 12th house is open and we shall be pulling from a singularity spread. The singularity spread is basically a focused attempt to see details of karmic resonance that may be occurring for you in terms of deep spirituality, as well as modes of dissolution, of the end of cycles, as well as the beginning of new forms of humanity, unconditionality with the way we carry cups into the cycle of the great triplicity of water. Okay, Pisces is the most evolved out of all the water signs in terms of linear progression of the triplicity of water. And it is through the 12th house that the loss of the self comes to complete fruition. Okay, Scorpio is more of the mystery, as well as the loss of the other, or the loss of the self through the other, the energy of Libra moving to the 8th, and then eventually into the 12th, which is more a wider expanse, a great deluge, as opposed to the depth and complexity and the intensity of Scorpio, the polarities that exist there. Okay, so we'll go ahead and pull, essentially, and see within the singularity a certain situation that has to do with your spiritual conquest or your spiritual quest. My dear Pisces, thank you for tuning in. We are dealing with the sea of information, sea of spiritual information, as well as the great realm of Maya and illusion. There is a mode of action here that has to do with deep complexity when it comes to the path of the observer, the path of also the seeker, okay? Seeking and observing. This is a path of maturation in which you have to release something, release especially an expectation, one that has to do with either romance or the evolution of greater love, the expectant sort of what you can take from that. There's something about the juggling of cups and the pulling away from a mode of pulling away. Essentially, with this pulling away, there is some form of maturity, either through the addition of really seeking out that which you feel fulfilling to be in terms of romance or pleasure, or your creative capacities. Also, there is a looking back effect and taking away, causing some form of clarity in terms of what you want, what you expect in terms of your deeper motivations, your deeper intuitive insights, as well as your creative impulses, your motherly impulses especially. This has to do with love especially. When considering the motor vehicle in which you approach love and approach things of love, there is something that you are going to do that has to do with maturation. And there also will be something about the things that you leave behind after this maturation that involve transformation through letting go, as well as the ability to completely resolve or reserve a sense of mental or emotional intelligence or sanity when it comes to this. You're on the quest for fortune when it comes to some deeper insights, some deeper motivations that has you sort of tied up, but also it's not that you're fearing things, it's that you're more of in a mode of receiving, and you are trying to receive that which you expect, but expect the unexpected when it comes to that, considering especially with all this energy of retroactive looking back, the observation might come to be that you are leaving behind a way or a means that once carried you in terms of your many options. Now there's a bit more of clarity, and it's idealized in a certain way, but also it's maturing in its idealizations. Okay. There also is here within the singularity a point of focus that has to do with the letting go of expectations, great expectations here, and supporting yourself within the realm of possibility, becoming very reasonable with that which you can devote yourself to. There may be a secret fear or a harboring of the transplantation or the transference of emotional energies that you don't want to be a part of, but then you are. There's something about this that is actually leading you to a type of gateway that will help you to understand the motivations behind social interactions, behind people in power. And these are indeed, it's as if they get power that's not enough for them, or perhaps there's something that they could have done better. This OCD quality, this obsessive compulsive quality, is something that needs to be shaken off by those in power. Because there's a sense here of powerlessness, but then also in the idealization or the romanticization of potentialities in terms of creative pursuits or love or romance or anything that has to do with art or creativity or perhaps the nurturing aspect or emotional aspects of certain things. They're coming into question. And now there's an unconditionality that reserves all of that as you move forward, as you choose to essentially make balance or make peace with the past, or come into a peaceful position as you move forward. There is a sense of trying to find a balance, or perhaps to strike some sort of intuitive insight, being funneled in a certain way, but then not relying on, say, family or communities or important relationships that may have gone awry or sour to hinder you in terms of finding this balance and finding the intuitive power source that you need in order to find a sense of peace. Okay. Centrally, there is an escapist motivation here that surrounds you. And it is this that helps you to break free from said cycles that have to do with you essentially being held back by the expectations of certain things, yet still being fueled by these very expectations to move forward. There's a sense of rest and relief, as well as a sense of peacemaking or peace bringing here in some sort of way. This could have to do especially with with very important relationships that are based on love or based on the generation of wealth that is shared, idealized within family structures or committed relationships, or anything that has fallen out in that respect. There is a sense that great happiness is coming to you in terms of this, but also strength through the sort of deconstruction of certain ways of finding power. The deconstruction of power is leading you to a sense of peace that is helping you to understand emotional undercurrents that are pushing you away into further and distant shores of liberation or perhaps freedom in terms of your emotional sort of grace. Okay. What I'm seeing here also is a challenge in trying to be practical. There's something about the sun's energy here, as well as the ability to find a great sense of purpose or drive that is being cemented in the very nature of this energy of Mars and Taurus here, that is very difficult to find a pure sort of way of stabilizing or method, like a methodology that is trying to hold you into a mode of practice or discipline or perhaps trying to accrue or gain elements of wealth or power through doing things, through practicality and through steadfast action, steadfast drive. Okay, there's something about this that is coming into question. You have to check your Mars placement and its relative position to the Mars energy in Taurus that is now. Okay. Also, I'm seeing a lot of Leo energy here with the Strength card combined with a lot of Aquarius energy, the Tower as well, Scorpio, and the Hanged Man, which is also your card. So there's a possibility here of some sort of great movement that has to do with being able to be impressed upon or feel a certain degree of wealth in terms of emotive quality, and trying to hold back either demons or letting them loose, these emotional demons, to help you to understand some of the more grander motivations that the sun is trying to bring into you. There's an element of happiness or an element of purity that comes through the energy of Gemini, of study, of self-mastery, as well as using your hands in order to make this need for expression in terms of freedom of the mind and peace of mind. Okay, especially when it comes to you coming up against power structures or committed sort of structures that have to do with love or romance or familial connections, brotherly or motherly, fatherly connections. These are all having to be sort of balanced out, as well as empowered in a certain way, imbued with a sense of proper communication and great wealth around the solar plexus. So find a sense of empowerment. There's something inside of you that is brooding, and it's emotionally intelligent, and it's also well informed in terms of its ability to cut out that which it does not need. Also, there's a great possibility of a combination of possibly some very cold or aggressively aggressive sort of modes that have to do with the quest for balance, the quest for proper doing, as well as the need to give in the right places and forgive in the right places. So if you can do that and find it within yourself to forgive or give in certain ways that have to do with emotional intelligence, then there's possibility to find balance in your practical realities. Okay. As far as advice goes, there's something or someone trying to give you a sense of truth or purpose within communities or societies in general. There's a doubling up of efforts here that have to do with mutual exclusion and the coming together, and in this bringing the truth of the Father or the truth of intelligence of a higher order comes to you, and it brings you what? It brings you a sense of purpose or a drive or a sense of inspiration. Okay, because it has an element of truth, okay, which can be very subjective, but if it is applied to the Ten of Pentacles, the Ace of Swords to the Ten of Pentacles, coming from the King of Rods, there's an element here of some very intense forms of knowledge that will help you to understand why or why not certain commitments that are laced with the element of water, of emotional content. They don't resonate with the earth quality of the Ten of Pentacles. So there's difficulty in finding a sense of purpose or drive in terms of certain structures, but truth is coming to give to enthrall that structure with luminous intelligence. Okay, that is what I'm seeing. Hopefully this helps, and hopefully that was not too esoteric for you, but I do appreciate your likes and subscribes and whatnot. Thank you. Bye-bye.